Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to week number 5 of 1 Week 1 Prep. 1 Week 1 Prep is a series of episodes where we are tackling emergency preparedness 1 week at a time. So far guys, if you have missed the previous 4 episodes, please have a look at my channel and catch up. So in week number 5 guys, we're going to be talking about cooking without power. Yes, I have promised you it's going to be coming up in the week number 5. So just imagine, okay, waking up one morning and suddenly there's no power. So that would potentially mean no running water, potentially, but that means you have no kettle, no hob, no oven, no toaster, nothing like that. So the question is to you guys, are you actually prepared? Are you able to feed and drink your family for a couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks? Because power outages happen all the time, okay, and quite often than not, they do last more than just a few hours. So the food preparedness is really, really important. We're on the originally of the week number 2, we talked about the basics of food. Today we're going to be talking about actually more comfortable way of surviving without the electricity and making sure you're able to provide your family with the warm meals. As usually guys, I always tell you that all my episodes 1 Week 1 Prep come with a supportive documentation and certain information on my website, so check them out down below. That means you don't have to be writing anything down whilst you're watching the video. So right, let's guys basically kick off. Just to make you aware, again, I totally understand that all of you are at a different preparedness level, but here I've got the selection of cooking methods that we're going to be covering. So if you're totally new, you're able to make a slightly maybe better decision, because I appreciate there is so much on the market that it could be very mind-numbing. It's very difficult to make a decision because you're unaware how things work and what's best for you. So hopefully this will help you to make a better choice. So right, in front of me is a selection of various cooking things. So I'm going to kick off with the big one, which is not on here, but we're talking about the barbecue. So the good option for you guys if you are wanting to be prepared, if you do have the outside space like a garden, then having the barbecue, it's a very good idea. Be it a gas barbecue or be it a coal barbecue, you can burn wood on it. It is totally up to you, but it is a good idea. I do understand at the same time that the barbecue could be not an option for many reasons, including potentially the space or the cost. But believe this or not, there are other little options about for the barbecue. So this one here, I picked up from Asda, and it was on a great deal. It is a portable one. It's only a really dinky one, as you can see, but they only costed me £7. I'm not intending to use this here at all because I do have a normal barbecue, charcoal barbecue, and a gas barbecue outside. But this is really portable, really small, and chances are it's going to be living in our camper just in case. But that tells you guys that the options are there. So secondly, okay, I've got one of the big camping gas cooking stoves. Okay, this is the one you connect to one of those patio gas bottles. The ones come like either 5 kilos or 13 kilos. Again, this is not something you can use inside, but for the outside, it's a very good idea because generally you can see they're really small. All you have to do just to attach this to the gas bottle. It's got 2 burners in there and happy days. Put this outside if you've got the outside space, and obviously you're able to cook yourself meal. Because those big patio gas bottles, be it a 5 kilo or 13 kilos, they would last you quite a while. For an example, a 13 kilo patio gas will last our family throughout probably about 6 months in the summer. And this is cooking majority of the evening meals on that barbecue. So they are a really good investment, considering you can pick up one of those for approximately about £40 and go outdoors. This is quite old one. There are many new models that look a bit better, but the point is they are there and they are fairly cheap. Now moving on to, okay, one of those single burners. They use a butane canisters like this, right? You can pick those guys up for approximately £15 from Home Bargains. And the gas canisters, okay, they are £4.49 for 4. And each one of those will last you on a small ability to cook for quite a while. We're talking about continuously burning for approximately 2 hours. So of course, depending what you cook, okay, a few of those won't go amiss. And then of course, there's many other things that are available to purchase. And this is where it gets, not say a bit complicated, but it gets a little bit more survivalist rather than our everyday cooking and survival. So for example, we have here one of the MSR wind burners, okay? It's literally a stainless steel pot, okay? You've got your burner thing at the bottom. Just gonna do that. Okay, so you basically buy one of those small butane gas canisters. It screws on the top. There's a little base on there and the burner itself. Assemble that, and that's great. it's a good idea. It is very, very good idea if you are more prepared, or if you're just by yourself living in a family. But again, thinking of that, if it's say 2 or 3 of you, this is a very difficult thing to get by. Okay, we're talking about guys having an ability to cook, and I understand you're not going to be cooking yourself roast dinner when the power is out, but you could. But the point is, if it's more than one of you, becomes very difficult, because in the end of the day, if you're just warming up beans, absolutely fine. But generally, we want to be able to, live and cook in comfort. So this is where those things are good, but only really good for a solo camping, or totally like survivalist. Keep this in your bag, out back. This is where lives. Another thing as well, which is really good one, but again, it's not something I would consider if you are new to the preparedness, guys, is the like a Kelly kettle or any sort of little twig burners or rocket stoves. They are rather expensive. They are £115, I think, if not more, depending on the kit. It's good from the point of view that you don't have to worry about having extra fuel, be it storing the gas or wood or coal, because it pretty much lights up on little twiggies. It basically is not assembled, but you've got a little feeder here. You put little twigs, you've got the kettle on the inside so you can boil the water, and you've got some attachment like little pots you can put on the top so you can cook yourself or warm yourself some food. Again, it's great for extreme survivalists, it's great for backpacking, it's great for if you're going somewhere you need space in your backpack, and it does a lot of things. But again, okay, for the size of this, it is not really suitable for the family. We have this and purely just in case, okay? And I said to you before, guys, I've been prepping for a very, very long time. As you can see, we kind of cater for all the eventuality. When we do go camping, we'll take the big camping gas, and we'll take this one as well. Sometimes we'll take that just as a backup, just in case. But Kelly kettle just sits there just in case of the total emergency, because however good it is not practical for a family cooking. So the point is, again, to you guys, if you are just considering or just starting up with the preparedness in terms of the blackout cooking, if you don't have the barbecues outside and you consider what potentially you should get, I would strongly suggest of getting that. Okay, as I said, they're very inexpensive, and you also can buy them from many places, including Amazon, Go Outdoors, and Home Bargains. And I think the price is really, really good. Considering those, again, are really, really cheap, it is a good idea. But again, the word of advice, like I said, if you do have a couple members in the family and you're cooking for, got to understand that this is very hard to deal with. They are small, so you can only have a small frying pan, a small saucepan. You can't really cook a proper meal without having pre-cooking something, putting this aside, waiting for something else to warm up. It is becoming very, very kind of a little bit difficult. So the point is as well, you can actually pick those up in the twin burners, which I'm going to be considering, because as I said, right, even for us going camping, doing the basic meals, I use 3, and we're talking about the 2 burners here, and I have the grill bit in the middle, and I've got this here. This is for family of 3, just going camping, no cooking roast dinner, nothing. I understand if it's total emergency, of course, it's better than nothing. You can boil yourself some water, make a cup of tea, but when we're talking about the prolonged period of time, be it even a few days of warming up your drinks, cooking food, again, for an average family of 2 or 3 people, this is not going to be sufficient enough. So if you can afford to, okay, then consider maybe buying a double burner. If not, then what I'll have to do, it is better than nothing. Of course, whilst I'm on the subject of the cooking indoors, every time you do use any of those appliances indoors, make sure the room is fully ventilated. They're not intended to be used indoors, but if you do this properly and ventilate the room, technically is no different than you using your normal gas hob. But 100% a must, guys, is to have a carbon monoxide alarm anytime, even if you don't cook or intend to cook with any of those inside. Just as a general preparedness, it's just a really, really good thing to have just in case. And of course, we'll be covering this a little bit in the more details in the different episodes. Have yourself the fire extinguishers and a fire blanket, okay? Just in case. I know it is a common sense. If you do put the put your cooking instruments, say, not just on a worktop, put this on your glass hob. If you've got one, just use your common sense when you do it. But still, having something like this, it's absolute must as a prepper, and generally as any family should be having that as well. And of course, then we're talking about now the foods. As I said, when it comes to the power outages, you're not intending to cook yourself, a roast dinner. It's just not how it is. And with anything, okay, it's very hard to resemble your normal cooking methods. For example, if you are frying yourself a steak or a pork chop, again, it's very difficult in a small space, and you want to be conserving your resources of the fuel, be it the wood or charcoal or whatever you guys have. So it's also at the same time very important to cater for your cooking needs for those kind of things. So things like, guys, pre-done foods, okay, or pre-prepared foods, if we say, for example, like microwave rice that you can obviously warm up on a hob. You've got all different ideas. You've got like a Thai green lentil curries. There's many things available there for you to buy. Things like tins of, you've got the chicken in cream sauce. You've got some chili con carne. All of that, it is pre-done. You can eat them cold, but of course, it's much nicer if you warm it up. So having something like this will kind of guarantee you that you can have a warm meal. And of course, if you boil some water, you can have yourself a warm drink as well. So then, right, as I said, on the website, there are things there. So I've got some information there for you. Okay, I said you can print out or just have a look. But the meal ideas, okay, and we're talking about very basic things for you to sort of grasp your head around. So if you do pop in to do your shopping, for your blackout shopping, so you've got some ideas. Things like really quickly cooked things. For example, like you got the couscous, you got quinoa, you get yourself some tuna, you get some crackers, you got for breakfast, you got oats, you got dried fruits, you got cereal, you got UHT milk. And basically it gives you a whole idea of just a brief things you potentially need to get yourself to be able to get yourself and your family through a power cut for, say, day or two. And then, of course, right, the action points. And there's going to be obviously few this time, depending on what preparedness level you are. But, of course, the food, consider that. And do please consider quantities, okay, for the people. I think people underestimate and are thinking, well, you can make do without this and without that. Absolutely you can. But the point is of the preparedness, when something happens, you want to be as comfortable as you can. You want to have less compromises as possible. So basically, you want to lead your daily life as normal as possible when the power is out. So for the beginner action plan, if you haven't got any of the backup cooking plans, if you have gas house, then it's probably a-okay. But still, nonetheless, buy one of the emergency cooking methods. And my suggestion will be one of them. They're honestly replaceable, and I think I'll be changing one of that because it's been used a lot. It's still going, but I think I would like to have another one as well. So get some fuel canisters, okay, enough for 1 week. Again, on the website, it tells you the rough usage of how many of them you need, but get at least 3, okay? And this probably roughly will last you about a week on a just moderate warming up rather than cooking yourself roast dinner or steak. Buy a manual can opener. I know it sounds a bit daft, right? But many people have electric can openers. Many people rely on the pull cord, but not every tin got a pull cord, as we know. So manual can opener is kind of one of those. And I did say to you guys before, everywhere I have stash of tins, be it a pull cord or not, I always get and put a manual can opener because they don't really last that long. They could be a bit rubbish sometimes, hit and miss, but they're currently, I think, 60p in Asda. So pick yourself one of them and then stash this with your tins. All right, so stock 5 easy shelf-stable meals. So make sure you got yourself 5 meals at least, okay? This is ideally per person. So you get yourself a couple of days worth of eating comfortably. And, okay, the challenging part is cook one of the full meals this week using no electricity or gas. So basically, just get together and pretend there's a power cut. Don't use your hob, don't use your oven, and make sure you can muster up yourself some meal. Make sure you find things that your family likes. Make sure you have method of warming this up and preparing it and see how this goes. Because I guarantee you that it will be challenging on just using one of them, but this is your challenge for the week. So for the advanced folks who already been preparing for a long time like myself, consider having 2. If you haven't got 2, maybe you have, let's say 2 is 1 is none. Maybe consider getting a couple of different options. Consider looking outside your comfort zone if you wish, because apparently there are things like the solar cookers. There are really interesting, like a slow cookers that are like in the big bags. I'm not convinced on that, but basically have a look at your resources, see what you have, okay, and then consider getting yourself another device of cooking your food just in case. If we are talking about, going off grid, solar things are great, but I think they're rather expensive. But things like a kettle, it is expensive, bearing in mind. But it does and can really get you out of trouble if there's no fuel. You literally just pick up some twigs and boil some water. That's good. Right now, again, depending what you have, make sure you have at least 1 month's worth of fuel. Be it logs, be it coal, be it charcoal, whatever guys you use, be it gas canisters like this, or the ones like Primus there. It depending on what you have. Again, over the time, I've found a way of kind of stocking up on things outside the season. So currently, and that happened last year, the Tesco's have one of those bamboo briquettes, if you wish, for the barbecue. They're quick burning, they apparently really, really good. And they were clearing them for £1 a bag. So last year, although I don't use them, we normally use wood on a barbecue or gas, I just bought a lot of them. They were £1 a bag, and it's really, really good. Really strong bags, put them in the shed, put them somewhere, happy days. So every time you go about somewhere, if you do see end of season clearance, which will be normally the end of the summer, then pick something up and then put this away. Right, so I already mentioned the solar oven kettle, and now the next thing as well is to cook 2 meals back to back. So you can push this as far as a day. Again, ignore that and cook yourself days worth of food for yourself or your family. I totally understand if you're already sort of an outdoorsy person, you've probably been camping, you're kind of used to all of that stuff there. But if not, if you're just piling stuff up, then maybe a good idea to give yourself a trial run. So there we are, guys, right? This is basically the basics of cooking without power. It is really, really straightforward. As you can see, there are tons and tons of options of things that are there for you. But when we're talking about just bare basics preparedness, okay, we're not preparing you for now for a, power outages for, for a year where we are going to be literally fighting each other just to get to the last twig on the tree. We're just talking about just general preparedness, okay? So week without power, consider that and make it your aim to be able to make sure you have enough pre-prepared foods for at least a week without power. And of course, you got enough fuel to be able to get yourself through that week as well. So there we are, guys. Well, I hope you have found this video helpful. As usual, please don't forget a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And I shall see you next week. Bye-bye.